Today I'm going to tell you an interesting story about the life of Saint John Baptiste de La Salle. Once upon a time, when France was rising in power and promise, a boy named John Baptiste de La Salle was born, who would later revolutionize the education system. He was born on April 30th, 1651, in Reims, France, into a wealthy Catholic family. From a young age, Saint John was groomed for a life in the church. He was very smart but deeply religious. At 11 years old, he received the tonsure, which was a religious rite of shaving a young man's head to prepare his path for priesthood. Around 1671, after the death of his parents, St. John took care of his younger siblings, especially in ensuring they received a proper education. While teaching his younger siblings at home, he unknowingly stepped into his training ground, an experience that would later inspire and prepare him to build schools for the poor. He then entered the seminary and became a priest in 1678 at the age of 26 years old. Later, he went to Collège des Bons Enfants and earned his doctorate in theology after 2 years. During the 17th century, the education system in France was very poor. Only the elite family could afford education, and the education system was a one-on-one teaching method. Though the church was solely in charge of education, they mostly taught for priests and the elite. As a result, many young children roamed the streets and didn't have any interest in attending school. Even their parents didn't prioritize educating their children, as they too had grown up without an education. St. John believed that every child deserves a proper education, as it was the key to their social and economic advancement. In 1679, he met Adrien Niel, a man who wanted to open schools for poor boys. Moved by this mission, St. John gradually gave away his wealth and status. He vowed to live among the poor and devote himself to education. He first revolutionized education by teaching using the students' native language instead of Latin, which was the standard teaching at that time. He then prioritized the training of teachers to prepare them for their teaching responsibilities. He also formalized the classroom teaching system to optimize learning and use the same lessons per day. This teaching method was groundbreaking and eventually became widely adopted by educational institutions around the world. Later, this group of teachers became De La Salle brothers, also known as Lasallians. The congregation was officially established in 1725 and was known as the Institute of the Brother of the Christian Schools. Today, the Lasallian schools operate in over 80 countries with thousands of members and have taught millions of young students worldwide. Some of its famous schools were named after him, such as De La Salle Institute and De La Salle University. In his later life, St. John suffered long-term health issues, but he still kept transforming education for the poor people. On April 7, 1719, he passed away quietly, but his legacy lived on. Later, devotion to his name started to grow, especially among teachers. On May 24, 1900, he was canonized by Pope Leo XIII, and today he is venerated as the patron saint of teachers and educators. His feast day is celebrated every 7th of April. If you like stories like this, follow, like, and subscribe.